Hi everyone, what's up? It's Maya and welcome back to my channel, Ashley Barnes. Where do I even begin? In today's video, I'm going to be deep diving into everything that has been going on with Ashley Barnes and kind of all the drama, all the tea that people have been spilling. I'm kind of going to be explaining it in like more simple terms for y'all who are interested in learning more about the situation. It's crazy, but without further ado, let's get started. So basically the whole incident I'm going to be talking about happened on July 7th, so not too long ago at all, and it was all before Paul's 1 million party. That is a pretty well-known, I think, party because a lot of influencers went to it and it was like kind of a huge deal. I wanted to actually start by going back a little bit into kind of her childhood, just to start like at the very beginning. So basically Ashley Barnes is actually an adopted child. She was adopted at a young age. She's currently 17. She was born in November of 2007. Her adopted father is Michael Barnes. He actually shows up in a lot of Ashley's videos. There's allegations that Michael Barnes was arrested for domestic violence and drug offenses and was listed as a sex offender, but those are all alleged things, so I'm not going to say that they're completely facts. And then also in Ashley's childhood, she talks about how she was essayed at a younger age, and so that kind of is interesting to see how that happened to her, and then in the future, as we'll soon learn, she does similar things to other people. So I also, being a viewer, know that she actually struggled with an eating disorder for a long time, and I'm pretty sure she still struggles with it now, but that is something she also openly talks about. That was kind of her childhood. I'm guessing it was really rough, especially kind of maybe some of the trauma she had to go through. She got famous on social media. She grew to over 3 million followers, over 300 million likes on TikTok, and she basically just made relatable content. Actually now go into this story and brace yourselves because it is a crazy one, okay? So this all happens July 7th. On July 6th, Brad Mason, who's actually friends with Ashley Barnes, Ashley flew him out July 6th to go meet her in LA to collab before the whole party, just kind of like have a little collaboration because they've hung out before, like they're friends, and that's a known thing because they post a lot together. He was flown out by her and he was going to stay with her in the hotel room. And before this, in the past, he does talk about how like she had tried to do things with him that like he wasn't really comfortable with. So you can see that these things have happened in the past. Let's now go back to July 7th when this all went down. In this hotel room, it was Capri, who is very popular too on TikTok. He's dating Piper Raquel and they have a very public relationship. So it was him, Brad Mason. Ashley was there also. Ashley's roommate. We get, I think, another girl too. I think it's that, yeah, 5 people in that room. So allegedly, Ashley started spraying pheromone spray so it would smell good before everybody got there. But Brad was already there, so he can account for this, like cleaning the room. And this is a spray that like makes people want to do things, if you know what I mean. So weird already, right? Let's just agree on that. And she also like was trying to convince everybody to drink and like take things she had, which Brad ended up not drinking. He just took a gummy from her that he thought was an edible, ended up being not an edible, and everybody else was drinking because like she was kind of peer pressuring people too, like, and obviously she was drinking and taking stuff too. Just everybody was very uncomfortable, and yeah. So at some point, Ashley is pulling everybody from the room, talking to all of them individually in the bathroom. And when she pulled Brad out, he later says that she told him that she wanted to get with Capri, who has a girlfriend. Obviously, we know he's dating Piper now. She was telling Brad, and it's okay because his relationship with Piper is actually not real. It's only for the internet, which isn't true. And also, I find this really weird too because Ashley and Piper, I don't know if they're friends, but they've posted together before, so clearly they know each other. So it's just kind of weird that like Ashley would still want Piper's boyfriend to cheat on Piper with her, and that's just like so disgusting in my opinion. Basically, her whole goal was to get with Capri this night. So then at one point, she takes out like gummies, and these are gummies again to make people want to do things. If she gave it to somebody, I think that her hope was like that they would want to do something with her. She force fed it to like her roommate. The roommate didn't want to take it, so she like took a little bite of it, and also Brad didn't want to take it, but she basically told Brad, like, and whispered in his ear, like, if you take it, like Capri will take it and then I can get with him, so please take it so that I can get with Capri. Which, so gross. Seriously, so messed up. I don't think Brad took it. Like, obviously he didn't want to. And when she tried to give it to Capri, Capri then mentions how he put it in his mouth and like acted like he was eating it so that Ashley would stop bothering him about it. And then like when no one was looking, like he threw it behind him so that like he didn't actually end up eating the gummy. So at this point, everybody's super uncomfortable. They're being pressured into doing things that they don't want to do, this, that, the other, right? So everybody's like, oh, we need to get out of here. Because also they were drinking though. Capri at one point was saying how he might need to stay in the hotel because he can't drive, he can't get home. And Ashley was like, well, you can stay, but you'll have to sleep in my bed. Like, kind of like blackmailing. They all want to leave. They don't want to be there. At some point, Ashley actually goes to the bathroom and changes into super revealing clothes, obviously on purpose. Very bad. Very bad situation. And everybody's just super confused. They start playing truth or dare, but they're all dares, and this was Ashley's idea. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. So Ashley's like, oh, we should play truth or dare, and then she basically starts daring everybody to like make out with each other. No one wants to make out with each other. When it's her turn to like have a dare, everybody dares her to make out with her roommate. Obviously they thought that she wouldn't do it. It was just because like she was asking everybody to do that, so they were like, we'll ask her to do it too. I don't know. It was like a joke. They didn't think it would actually happen. The roommate didn't want to kiss Ashley, but Ashley grabs the roommate and like makes out with her. And then when the roommate like pushes away, like Ashley like grabs her again and like makes out with her, which is just, that's sexual assault. So obviously you can't do that because there's no consent, but I feel really bad for that roommate. The roommate ended up getting out by taking an Uber home, and at this point Ashley still wants to get with Capri. Obviously she's not in the right headspace, but still there's no excuse for this because there just isn't, you know. Keeps forcing herself onto Capri. Capri does not want to do anything. Obviously he's dating Piper, and he repeatedly says like, I love my girlfriend, like I love my girlfriend, like what are you doing, like I don't want to do anything with you, I have a girlfriend and I love her, like, you know. So sad. Obviously he was in a bad situation. Brad's also confused. So then everybody ends up leaving, but Brad is staying in the hotel with Ashley, so like all his stuff are there, and like that's where he's staying. Everybody gets out, but he's still there, and then he pretends to fall asleep, right? Ashley keeps like talking to him, being like, oh, like why am I not good enough for you, like do I need to lose weight, or my boobs not big enough, like why don't you like me? Brad's like, well, there's nothing wrong with you, I just don't like you, like this is obviously a bad situation, like I don't want to do anything with you, like, we're friends. So you know, Brad's just like, oh my god, like I don't know what to do. Brad starts like doing stuff to herself, like inappropriate stuff, while she's laying like next to him in bed, and he's just like acting like he's asleep, like just bad situation, bad everything. He ends up then waking up the next day at 2 p.m. So, and he thinks that that's because of what he took. So what he took like made him just kind of like black out. I don't know, because he doesn't remember, but maybe stuff did go down after he like kind of lost consciousness, I guess. Like maybe things happened that he just doesn't know about because he can't remember them, but for all he knows, he just fell asleep and then woke up at 2 the next day. So that's what we're gonna go with. Everybody's texting him like, oh my god, are you okay? Because everybody else had left, and they were in the situation too, so they're like, are you okay, like what happened? And so he tells them what happened, obviously horrible, and they're like, you need to get out, like you can't stay another night there. And he obviously knew that too. After dropping off Ashley, I think somewhere, he goes back to the hotel and packs up all his stuff. He's looking for something, and he opens a drawer. There's like a ton of like, I'm pretty sure there was lube, there's those gummies that she was trying to force into people, there's like vibrators, there's a Mormon book, which weird, and then there's handcuffs, but they're like fluffy handcuffs, so we can kind of think about what that is for. And obviously there was like shots of alcohol too, because that she had. He wrote Ashley's dad and was like, oh, all this happened, I can't stay with her, and he was like, oh, I understand that. And I'm gonna read the texts. He like posted the texts between Ashley's dad and him after all this happened. And it's just kind of, this is something that's really crazy to me, because Ashley's dad is almost like validating why Ashley did this, and like basically saying that it's okay that she did that because she was struggling so much. That's kind of like, to me, a bad father figure. Like if you know that your daughter's struggling, clearly he knew beforehand, why would you let her be alone with all these people? Like I just think that's bad parenting personally. It's not okay, period, and there's no excuse for that, you know? But he basically said, please, as a friend, can you give Ashley a break, a second chance? We all make mistakes, especially when tequila's involved. Like she's flying to New Jersey. She needs family and friends to begin a sober life. She plans to return to LA on Saturday and finish her class. Please pray for her and thank you for your friendship. And basically just being like, oh, because she was having a hard time, it's okay. And she ended up going home to New Jersey, flew back to New Jersey, and she was in rehab for 3 days, and then flew back for Paul's party. Since then, a lot of people have been coming out about their experiences with Ashley, and a lot of people have like similar things that have happened. So clearly, like this isn't the first time that has happened. It's like a regular thing. And Brad was talking to Ashley the day afterwards and like telling her everything that happened. She confessed to him that she was actually struggling with an addiction to Adderall and also substance abuse. And basically, for anyone who doesn't know what Adderall is an ADHD med. It basically is like, it's not an over-the-counter drug, like it has to be prescribed, and it is a stimulant, and basically you can lose your hunger from it. It's very illegal to, you know, use Adderall is like over what you're supposed to. So obviously, so she was like addicted to drugs basically. It's very unfortunate because I can see how that might be correlated to her eating disorder. But also, again, like, I can just kind of see how, like, with so many followers and probably a lot of hate coming her way, I mean, not an excuse, but I can see how she is probably struggling with a lot of internal problems she's having. Not an excuse again, but it is a horrible situation. After Brad made, like, his storytime videos, Capri made videos, which ended up actually getting him banned from TikTok, which is insane to me because just trying to talk about something that was vulnerable to him, and then that just got him banned from TikTok. It's just so horrible to think about that, you know? He basically was just saying how, like, she tried pressuring him into doing things when he didn't want to, stuff like that. Basically what Brad was saying that happened. I'm sorry to anybody who was here, but yeah, it totally sucks. A lot of people have spoke out, but I bet there's even more people who haven't yet, just out of fear, you know, hate. Kind of cool that people are speaking out about it, because it is, like, getting essayed and, like, having an experience like that is not that, like, it's not something a lot of people like talking about, like making themselves vulnerable, and also, you know, protecting other people, other influencers, and people in the future from having an experience similar to theirs with Ashley. Obviously, she had a bad childhood, got essayed herself, but it's not an excuse for essaying other people. And at such a young age, I think it also kind of, like, represents how fame can, like, mess with people negatively. So that's also, like, something that I think is kind of something to take out of this story, because especially at the young age of 17, to be doing all these things, it maybe is partially because of all the hate that she's gotten, all this stuff she's had to go through. And I personally think that if this is where you are, you shouldn't be an influencer, because Ashley, even to me for a long time, was a very big person I looked up to, and I don't think little kids should be looking up to somebody like that, but that's my personal experience. That's everything that's out about her. I don't know what will happen. Maybe I'll make a part 2 at some point. But that was kind of like a summary of all the tea, all the juicy stuff that has happened with Ashley Barnes. It's actually insane to me. I would have never expected something like that from someone that I personally looked up to. Goes to show how you don't always see everything from the surface, and there's always things behind closed doors that we don't know about. So you can't fully trust everything you see online. I love y'all so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!